chances are so significant, especially against Lyra. If you're able to lock her down, then you're able to burst her down before she sustains back up.
And Churnwalker was a hero that we've seen them do tremendous things on. We saw them pull out a 2 versus 3 with a trespass.
Possibly the play of Worlds thus far
Absolutely.
was that Churnwalker play.
Yeah, just devastating for any team to get Churnwalker. And it's interesting that Ace prioritized the ban on Lyra instead of Churnwalker. Maybe they have a strategy up their sleeve here. Rona being a first pick is good because Vox is banned, but we know that Weapon Sky works well into Rona, and even Impunity can play a pretty good Celeste to beat that Rona. So let's see what they're going to do. They're going to go ahead and take with the Baptiste and target ban DefQ.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like they're trying to go for a dive-heavy composition. It seems like the strategy for Ace Gaming is trying to bait Impunity to pick the Churnwalker, then play a very aggressive composition. Rona with an Ardent perhaps if he's still going to be open, and then something like the Reza or the Koshka later on. Just go all in on the Churnwalker and his teammates.
Samuel taken off the board. Another one of the picks that Ace Gaming, kind of exclusive to Ace Gaming. They're one of the only teams that we've seen run this pick here at Worlds and find success with it. And so they immediately grab themselves an Ardent. And again, we've got to talk about how quickly Ace Gaming goes through their drafts. They are so decisive even before they get onto the fold.
Yeah, incredibly well prepared as a team, and that's what you expect out of the teams coming here onto the world stage. But what we saw out of Ace in terms of speed of draft against Pain was that as the games went on, as the series got closer, they really slowed things down. So maybe this is just game one confidence once again. Black Feather locked in for Impunity.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a CP jungle Black Feather because a weapon Black Feather won't be as effective into a Rona and an Ardent. You want to poke that down. And then finally, you want a strong weapon laner. We saw Weapon Sky work really well into Rona. I'm wondering if Impunity does play the Weapon Sky because we haven't seen it from them.
Yeah, the Weapon Sky I think would be an incredibly strong pick here to round out this composition. Going with that Churnwalker, you have so much lockdown from Churnwalker, and Sky can just continuously dance around those fights. We saw it work in our first semifinal. It could very much come and work here again.
And now for Ace Gaming, as I mentioned earlier, it's either going to be the Koshka. If they want something a little bit later on in the game, the Taka and the Reza are also available, but something that is CP in the jungle and can dive very well. Their idea behind playing against this Churnwalker is to have a very aggressive composition that can dive very well. So Rona with Ardent, perfect. Koshka or Reza or Taka is the last pick is what I'm expecting.
I think they're probably going to go with CP Kestro. Oh, Reza instead. Wow. So they want to dive and fight with the Rona here and try to get onto the Sky. So this will be a very interesting matchup in terms of who's going to be able to lock down the Sky and win this fight here.
And we talk about how to beat a Churnwalker. We always say it's with the all-in heavy dive comps. That's what Ace Gaming has put together.
Honestly, this looks to me like a game of cat and mouse right here. Ace are going to be trying to chase on down, and Impunity going to be running to the hills and trying to dish out the damage while they do so. Predictions, boys, as we head on into this game. Suije, we'll start with you.
I really
Who's the
like
favorite?
Churnwalker and Cordovar and Churnwalker, so I'm going to go with Impunity.
One for Impunity.
Coming into this event, I never would have predicted Impunity over Ace, and I am not one to be swayed very easily by the thoughts of others. But this crowd has done the unthinkable. I am all in on Impunity.
All right. Bacon making a statement there.
Nice.
Final prediction coming in.
Why would we go with anything else but Impunity with this crowd standing in front of us? And after that draft especially, I think the Sky and the Churnwalker are going to apply so much pressure, allowing the Black Feather to get into the mid game. Impunity all in.
All right, we have a full Impunity desk. We have a full Impunity arena right here. It's time to get this one underway. It is time to jump into semi-final number 2. It's Ace Gaming against Impunity. Take it away, casters.
Well, thank you very much. I'm Humanist here with Dowsey, and we have an incredible matchup for you. Our analysts have broken it down. You see the draft. Dowsey, what are you thinking about what we're going to see here?
I mean, we're going to see the home crowd get behind Impunity to try and conquer what has been our East Asian overlords in Vainglory. Ace Gaming, the only representation left from Korea, looking to make their way to the finals, but they have to go through the juggernaut that is the Singaporean Impunity.
Impunity. I mean, this team, they play lights out. Not only that, they're incredibly fun to watch. I think they play aggressively, almost, it feels like, to a fault at sometimes, but it's been working for them. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle has begun. So without further ado, let's get this underway. Players are making their way out onto their positions. Now, early on here, would you expect some early skirmishes? Are these guys going to just try to get some farm, get some levels, and then play it out? What's going to happen here, Dowsey?
I mean, we're looking at a very strong level 2 fighting composition from Impunity. The Churnwalker able to dish out so much damage across the Ace Gaming lineup. Black Feather, with his Fate of Heart, does so much if he can just single in on a single target. With this guy able to just consistently move through the team fight as well, slow at the early game. You know, it's a weapon power Sky. You don't really think the forward barrage plays too much into that aspect, but especially in this early level, it can really hurt Ace Gaming's chances of escaping. So Impunity should not feel scared to fight. In fact, Ace Gaming, you can see, are backporting, not ready to face up against Imp.
Really interesting. And of course, Impunity don't know exactly what's happening, so they're going to go ahead and leave the Elder Treant up there. And there's just a little bit of mind games happening early on here.
Yeah, and you have to imagine what it feels like to be Impunity here, representing Southeast Asia, one of the only teams to have succeeded so far against Rox Armada. In their group, they were able to topple them. They had such a hard group, Tribe Gaming, in that group as well.
Right.
And now we've seen them qualify into that finals. You have to think that Impunity are looking forward to that, knowing that they will have to go up against someone they've already played. But if Imp can take down Ace here, would have a rematch of that group stage. And so you can imagine they're going to be feeling good about that.
Feeling really good about that. I mean, Impunity was one of the teams that did pull out the Rona and beat Tribe with it. Suddenly we see Rona everywhere.
Right.
This team definitely very innovative. You like that pronunciation?
I do.
Yeah, definitely. But as well, we see very fun builds as well as drafting. Down here, it looks like Elder Treant probably does, of course, get secured by Impunity. A little crowd cheering just for the Elder Treant there.
I mean, this Singaporean crowd is ready to get behind their boys in blue and white and cheer them all the way to game 3, where Impunity will be looking to just really tear across. Now, I'm being maybe a little bit biased here. Let's tear it back.
It
because
sounds pretty biased.
Ace Gaming is a formidable roster. Creation, Tassa, and Youngju coming in very late into the year here to replace Skosa, Scarshield. So it's really tough for East Asian fans. They witnessed one of the greatest captains step down from their roster, and that's always going to be a scary thing. But Youngju coming in has really just solidified the chances of Ace Gaming, and they've shown that, yes, he is ready to go. A bit of Death Bush. Will DefQ step in?
Thinking about, oh, he's going to walk in. Starts to get lit up. The foe splitter's there. Healing Flask popped off. This looks like it potentially is going to be on the first blood. DefQ, Faint of Heart, he's going to be able to have that move speed. Moving down Youngju, the self Vanguard, they're on DefQ. He's down. First blood. Ace Gaming.
Really nice rotational play here from Ace Gaming, knowing full well that this Reza into Black Feather matchup is very difficult for Tassa, and Impunity have been rotating as 3 to secure these Elder Treants, get that experience lead in the jungle. Creation going to solidify his team by setting up a Death Bush, and now Tassa has that first blood. He's going to be very close to finishing off an Aftershock very quickly in this game, and Reza, once he gets that Aftershock, can do a really surprising amount of damage. Ace Gaming have a very strong moment coming up. Just 100 gold for Tassa. The next little skirmish you see from them, they can really solidify an early lead.
All right, so we're talking about the power spikes of this Reza. He's going to have it coming up here very shortly, as you did mention. They're going to be able to actually take some fights. What's their key target? What is the focus and objective in these fights?
Going to see Quisi build into a poison shift to try and sustain through the fights. You need to try and cut down that healing coming out of Creation, but if Quisi can be dived upon by Tassa and Creation as one, Youngju can kind of allow them to continue chasing up with a Vanguard, and of course, when Echo gets built later on into this game, it's going to make it very difficult for Quisi to auto-attack it and kind of stutter around the team fight.
Right.
So Tassa Creation, really, really clear focus. Take down the Sky, deal with DefQ's CP Black Feather, try and burst and then sustain the jungler after you've taken down the carry.
We've seen actually the Shiver Steel come out as a very big pickup for the Ronas, and it feels like in this game it could play a pretty large role. Now actually, Kwesi taking a bit of damage there, a little out of the fray, not ready to just fully commit into that. Quadrabot, definitely one of the best turn walkers we've seen in this entire championship. Now Tasa, making that aftershock go to work here. Up in the lane. Oh, the jump forward. You have gone too far. Kwesi punished for not respecting, and that's going to be the Netiform detonator. They're going to dive on Quadrabot. Most likely he goes down, but no! Death there trying to make the big plays. Almost pulling them far enough back to find a kill of their own, but Ace Gaming up 2-0, 5.5 minutes in.
And we don't even have Fountain complete for Cote d'Ivoire. Their amazing play coming through from Impunity to keep that turret alive and not fall under it after Kwesi did go down. Ace Gaming looking to snowball this game out of control. DefQ's gone a little bit of a delayed build here with that aftershock you usually see coming through from this Crystal Power Black Feather, prioritizing a heavy prism for himself just so he has a little bit more burst damage on his on point. He needs to get that aftershock completed. It's 6 minutes in and you really should have a tier 3 item under your belt as a jungler at this point. Has so much gold, so it's just a trip to the shop at this point. He's going to backport, try and pick up that aftershock, and now he can look to try and turn the tides for Impunity. It's a really big moment of power with that heavy prism and the aftershock, so we'll have to see if Ace Gaming respect it.
You hear the crowd getting hyped up behind us right now. 6.5 minutes in. Ace building a pretty solid little advantage for themselves now. The dance back with the Surrey into the forward barrage. They're going to pull him back with the Torment. They want creation, but he's so incredibly tanky. Red Mist spinning all over Impunity. Impunity going to think twice about this. Now, Quadrabot still holding his Fountain. They can stand their ground if they want to, but they're just going to heal up, grab some items, and get back to lane.
Yeah, they might actually lose their turret for this backport. Quadrabot cannot defend it by himself as a lone churn walker. Ace Gaming will strike for that first turret, taking the lead very much into their hands with a pretty substantial gold lead here, Humanist. They're really looking to try and solidify their mid-game power. Creations just finished that breaking point, which means for Impunity, if they can't take down Tassa early in the team fights, Creation's just going to be a monster that they cannot deal with. DefQ needs to come online. I suspect he'll go towards a Dragon's Eye as his second item, but maybe even considering a Broken Myth so he can try and pierce through the shielding. Creation has already picked up for himself. Kwesi on this Sky scales into the late game, and so for Impunity, they have to bridge the gap somehow, and that's on DefQ and Cote d'Ivoire.
And it's kind of interesting. It looks like right now, if the gauntlet does come down, Kwesi kind of has to stay on the ground or run backwards, get stunned up, and just try to kite.
Right.
It feels incredibly dangerous, especially not having the breaking point complete right now. He ports back. He will complete this item. It does feel like a dangerous situation. Do you think maybe possibly a mistake to not have that reflex up so early?
Well, he has the Okart in his inventory. It's only 200 gold until he can complete a reflex block, so he's recognizing the mistake, the importance of a reflex block. Gold miner to be contested.
Oh, they're going to move in here. Gold miner dropping low. And a nice secure by Creation. The hook and chain there. Torment back on the Youngju. It doesn't look like there's going to be anything to follow. And they go their separate ways at this point. 8.5 minutes in, Ace Gaming just very slowly but surely a methodical gaining of resources across the map.
And that's just what Ace Gaming does so well, is their methodical, oh wow, pronunciation's not coming through. That's an Australian pronunciation right there, Humanist. They're just so good at taking objectives cleanly and not really overstepping their reach. And this is where the Impunity style can come in and kind of upset that. They're a little bit crazy, a little bit wild in their play. And if they can get onto Ace, surprise them, then it's really good. But Tassa's looking for a flank.
Speaking of wild, the Wild Child moving in from behind. The Gauntlet's going down. The Scorcher Troublemaker in on top. Tassa, nice burst damage on a DefQ, but it's Quadrabot on the front line taking a whole bunch of damage. He'll use his boots to try and reposition. He's got the hook and chains up, force the Fountain Trespass. 3-man stun. Now over the top. Dance with the Road's defensive DefQ. He wants Tassa. Tassa kites back, using that Troublemaker to his advantage. Kwesi, he's trying to get away from Creation, but Creation will be able to take him down. It's traded 1-for-1 as Youngju's drop. DefQ's falling. They're falling like flies across the map. Quadrabot will go down. It's the Ace coming through for Ace Gaming, blowing this game wide open, and it feels like we're in mid-game, but this is still very early.
Yesterday we saw Ace Gaming going up against the pride of Brazil, Pain Gaming, and they seem to struggle, but here they're showing full respect to Impunity. Great engage comes through the flank.
That was
so well
so
executed.
Beautiful.
Impunity, though, turned this around. That death from above really upset Ace Gaming's progression, but once they singled out Quadavar, got him out of the team fight, and DefQ, this is really impactful on point. That could have been the difference between him killing Tassa.
Absolutely.
And the team fight going a different way. He just wasn't able to clean up. Tassa, with just, you know, the most brave Reza I've seen in competitive play, diving in very low, but able to find the kill for himself. That Clockwork just doing so much work in the team fight, resetting his abilities, allowing him to get that Scorcher up off cooldown so quickly, allows Tassa to just have so much control over the space of a team fight, more mobility than a Black Feather, which is so important when you go up against this mobile hero, is that if you get that lead and he has a massive one over DefQ, then you can really start to punish it in these team fights.
Now, there were, as far as predictions, people were going both ways on this. You know, a lot of Impunity fans out here, but for good reason. They've been playing incredibly well. It looks insane what Ace have been able to do in the first 11 minutes of this game.
It's just Ace's game style, and it's what the Koreans here do so well in esports, is not taking fights that are disadvantaged. They play a low percentage game consistently so that they can get small wins. They understand that a war is just many small battles and you have to get through them. Ace going to play this slow and steady like a tortoise. Impunity may need to speed up like a hare, though, if they want to overtake this tortoise. The issue is that that Fable doesn't work too well for the hare, so it's going to be very interesting. We have to remember, though, Impunity's composition scales incredibly into the late game. DefQ, once he finishes that Dragon's Eye that I assume he's going towards, is going to have so much damage when he gets it stacked up. He can go defensive and really just be that front line. They need to focus down Ace Creation here, try and keep him off Quisi. That's Quadavar's job. But if Tassa's allowed full reign over the team fight, then it's very difficult for Quisi to maneuver.
Quadavar has picked up the War Treads now. The potential engage, but they just disengage immediately. That activatable, allowing his team to have that move speed, kite back. And like you said, maybe turtle up, slow things down just a little bit. Tortoise versus the turtle.
Right now, Ace are just going to poke around the heads the jungle. They're not going to push too far. They're not going to overstep. They're going to allow Impunity to start to sweat. Once you can start getting them sweat, getting them nervous, that
we're in Singapore, I think everybody's sweating.
Once the Kraken spawns and joins us on the Halcyon Fold, that's when Impunity will feel threatened, like they need to make a move against this Ace powerhouse. That's when Ace Gaming can really just tighten the nuts and bolts here. Look at them backing off, waiting for Tassa to come.
He's waiting. Starting to stack up that breaking point there. You saw it actually stacking up fairly quickly. And there's this moment, I think, with these weapon skies where it does just start to flip a switch.
Yeah.
It's really good into the Rona, abusing that mobility, but holding that Surrey strike. Oh, are they going to move up? Gauntlet's down. Well, I don't even know if he had to reflex that. Quadavar able to block that and get back. Using the healing flask, and they jump on top of him. Netherform detonator, using the mobility. Death from above, can it peel them enough? Quadavar stays alive, they block off the trespass stun. Now DefQ, he's got a Rose defensive backwards, trying to get over. Now Quasi, a nice Surrey strike. Do they want to dive in here? Creation definitely does. DefQ forcing his team back there. DefQ will go down. Wow, that's a very clean kill. And you see Quasi not doing enough damage to actually follow up on anything.
Yeah, very tanky lineup Ace has here. And Tassa's playing as the squishiest member, playing so far in the back line, allowing for DefQ to overstep. They're going to try and take this sentry away. First life taken off the board here at the 40 second mark. Ace Gaming with a huge gold lead. It just seems like it's trickling every second here, Humanist. Up to 9,000. They're going to finish off a gold miner in the next minute or so. Try and bait Impunity into the middle of the map just before the Kraken spawns. It makes the Kraken taking adventure so much easier for Ace Gaming if Impunity bring themselves to them. And Youngju, look at his vision. This guy lights up the map. In their game against TSM, there wasn't a section of the map that Ace Gaming couldn't see. Vision OP coming through from Youngju. If you had any quarrels or concerns about Ace's addition of Youngju to the roster, I think they can be silenced because Youngju has just been so solid for Ace Gaming.
Now, I'm looking at the items coming together. It looks like both captains going for this Echo item. Is this pretty equal on both sides as far as power spikes? Does one kind of trump the other?
Gauntlet will be far easier to execute over the Trespass, you can see Quadavar being singled out. He's actually very squishy against Tassa.
Tassa, Scorcher, Troublemaker, he's got the mobility. He can chase on that. He'll pull back, wait for his team, no reason. Crystal Sentry just delivered right to them. Tip your driver.
Tipped him well. Very fast delivery coming through here. And there's that Kraken spawning. Ace just going to start it up immediately.
What? It feels like literally everything on the map is just perfectly in sync with what they're trying to achieve, but this is them one step ahead.
They understand the rotation meta so well. There's the
down
gauntlet.
defensively, Quadavar is inside. They drop off of this Kraken. It will be Quadavar dropped down at the beginning of the fight now. Can Ace Gaming chase in for more? Creation stays back on the Kraken. DefQ dropping low. Oh, big plays by Tassa. Able to find another one. Now Quisi tries to dance but goes down. A double kill coming through for Youngju. Huge plays and things looking incredibly rough. And ladies and gentlemen, if Ace played this correct, they could potentially take the game.
Yeah, this could just be the end of Impunity very swiftly from Ace Gaming. Here's that replay, and it was an overstep from Quadavar trying to capture the Kraken and take it off. He just went down so quickly. Managed to pop the fountain, but he was dead already. And Tassa, look at his control over Reza, keeping his distance from Quisi whilst taking down DefQ. He's made it look easy. Jumps out of the team fight and replay over. Kraken's push into the base. Ace looking for the engage.
Another Crystal Sentry delivery right on time. Kraken starts onto these Vein Crystal turrets. Now Impunity, what's the play here? They're trying to do a little damage to the Kraken, but at the same time, maybe stack up that breaking point. Waterball almost dropping there. His fountain's coming up in just a second here. Creation jumps in, and he pays the price. They didn't have a fountain of their own, and they're going to have to get out of here. Potentially a situation where they could have closed the game out. While Tassa jumps back in. Making me eat my words right there, jumping around the Troublemaker back. He's in, he's out, they pull him back, they block off the stun. Quadavar dropping down low, he will go down. No. Tassa jumps over the top side, but the fountain can't keep him alive. DefQ most likely chases down Youngju. They will get the ace, they will get the Kraken. This is a huge swing in overall net worth for Impunity.
Yeah, it's gold back in their pockets, but Ace Gaming forced Impunity to fight them, meaning that this Kraken finished off the objectives and only a Vein Crystal remains between Ace Gaming and that Game 1 victory. They have played practically flawlessly. Their rotation understanding, respawns have just been perfect from them. It's such a pleasure to watch Ace Gaming come through. After yesterday, they was very concerned to see how this would work for them, if they would be able to swing it all back in their favor, but clearly they've gone away and realized that they need to play more cleanly if they want to be in the finals.
For you players watching that don't know exactly what's going on, he's holding that Treant there to make sure that his teammate does get that ambient goal, just making sure. It's so patient, and I really love this play. That's maximum effectiveness, and it's really nice to watch.
Little turret goes over to Impunity because of that delay in the jungle. Some gold going into their pockets. Ace weren't there to clear the wave. These minions do pack a punch into turrets on 2.10. There's some gold feeding back over. Ace Gaming practically full builds here. Quisi needs more damage. Often we see Sky players actually sell their boots at this point, Humanist, so that they can build a 4th damage item. When you weapon power Sky and you have the auto attack speed of 3 items, then you can dance around the fight.
Might as well just pick Saw, don't tell exceptions. Second gauntlet, Youngju's in, Quisi blocks that off, able to move back.
Creation's backdooring.
Creation over the wall, he will be able to end this, but DefQ is there. Let's see if Quisi will be going down the heal. They block off the stun now, Creation just spinning with Red Mist. I don't think DefQ can take him down. This is gonna be game to Ace.
Wow.
Woo! Just to pad the stats there. This guy's a monster, Dowsy.
Incredible determination from Ace Gaming to come out and just take that game by force, saying, Impunity, you looked good, you're a dangerous team to play against, but we here are going to play that calm